project for it's not actually a video project. It's just a project for my class. We're looking into rural areas and what challenges they might face. And so, like, some people are doing, how women get like prenatal care and stuff. And so I'm looking into how rural students in high schools are prepared for college. And so, like I said, I knew Rebecca was from a small town, asked her if she knew anybody, and she said that she knew you. Mm-hmm. So I was hoping you could just start by kind of telling me about how, like, prepared you did feel for college, and if it was a struggle coming to a big university.
Okay. So I felt pretty prepared. We actually had a couple teachers who got certified to teach college and high school classes. So I had an English class from UW, and I had a math class from Central, and those actually prepared me really well. The only place I feel like maybe I wasn't super prepared was like science, I guess. I'm not taking a lot of science classes, but my roommate is a pharmacy student, so she takes a lot of science, and I have no idea what anything is that she's doing, and if I even tried, I'm pretty sure it'd be terrible. So other than that, I think my teachers really, really cared about getting us to a good place to go to college, and we're only about 8 students in my class who went to universities. So our teachers really focused on making sure we could get there once they knew what our goals were. The kids who were going to community college, they knew, okay, this is what you have to do. And those of us that were coming here, they knew we had to get a little higher level. And they worked really hard to just get us to a good place.
So I talked to a counselor at Colton High School, and they mentioned the college and the high school courses. Could you tell me a little bit more about those, how those look?
Yeah. So the first one I took was an English class from University of Washington. I took 131, and then I took 111, and they transferred here as English 101 and then an elective English. And my teacher basically just went over with us what the learning objectives for the course were and made sure that we had the skills to get there. So she taught us all the basics of English, and then we had to read certain books. So our topic was dystopia. So we read The Hunger Games in 1984 and some stories like that, and we had to read Utopia, which was terrible. But
so I hear.
we had to read that. And it was a lot of self-driven work. She wasn't allowed to help us with it a lot because it was based more as a college course where you're doing the work on your own. So we just turned in a portfolio at the end, and she gave us kind of a preliminary grade per paper, but we didn't get like an official grade, an A, B, or whatever. And at the end of the course, we turned in a whole portfolio of work and a metacognitive piece where we described how we met the learning objectives of the class. And that was what gave us our main grade for the paper.
Okay.
For the class.
And how much involvement does the university have? I heard that professors came to the high school. Does that happen at your high school?
We had a lady come evaluate us twice, I think, and she just sat in on the class to see what we were doing and how our teacher interacted and things like that. And our teacher has to go to trainings at UW and get certified to teach the course, and I think she went 3 or 4 times throughout the year to see other students' papers and talk to other teachers about what they were doing and how to do it differently.
Okay. So, what made you decide on WCU?
I like that. So I only live an hour and a half away. And I like that it's far enough from home that I feel like I'm in my own place, but it's close enough to home that I can go whenever I want. And I just like that it had a good business school. I'm a business student, and I don't have a particular major right now because of some of the program changes that have been made. I haven't decided. So I just like that there's a lot of options, and it is a university, and I knew I wanted to go to a big university. So it was just a good fit for me, and I like the location and the kind of small town feel compared to this big city, and I like it.
Do you think that your high school could have done anything more to make the transition easier?
I'm not sure. I think for the most part, they did a good job with me. There are some things, maybe, but I think the biggest difference for me here than being at home is there's so many people and the classes are so big. I don't really know that there's anything our schools can do about that. I mean, there's 130 people at my high school and that's just the way it is, but I'm so used to having one-on-one time with my teachers and knowing them really well that that's kind of been the hardest transition is I don't know my teachers unless I really make an effort to meet them and they have 500 students and I don't really know that in that way there's anything they could have done differently. And there were ways where I was really prepared for things like that. I had a teacher who was my Future Business Leaders of America advisor, and he got me through the process to become a state officer. So I've done a lot of public speaking, and I've met people from all over, and he really helped me to be prepared to be here.
Yeah, I talked to two separate counselors, and one of them mentioned that it seemed like the one-on-one time that students in smaller high schools get does help a lot and really make sure that they get, that the teachers help them get where they want to be,
Yeah,
so.
I've always really liked being close with my teachers.
Do you think that there is any distinct advantage to being in a small town beyond just the one-on-one time with teachers?
I think it just builds really good relationships with everybody. I knew everyone in my class. It wasn't like there was no anonymity, so which I guess has advantages and disadvantages, but I always really liked it. It just depends on your personality. I really enjoy close, small relationships, and some of my friends like the big city, so they just couldn't wait to get out and try all the new things. And I think there's a lot of advantages to it, and if you have a problem, there's always someone to help you. It's just really good for most people, I think.
All right, well, I'm thinking about it. What is your year? That's how we identify students.
I'm a sophomore.
Okay, sophomore and heading towards business, but...
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll certify into the business school in spring.
Okay.
And because of my transfer credits with my college and the high school, technically I'll become a junior for the spring semester.
That's how I am too.
Oh, really?
AP classes. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't, that's one disadvantage to a small school is we don't have AP at all. We had one AP class my senior year, our science class, but my teacher gave us the option to take the AP test or not, and most of us didn't because we just didn't feel very prepared for it. Oh well.
Yeah. Well, AP classes, they're tough.
Yeah.
All right, well, do you have anything else to